Did you know that some exercises, even ones that seem perfectly harmless, could be silently damaging your hips? These movements might lead to discomfort, stiffness, or even serious issues that linger for years. If you're 60 or older and still pushing through certain activities, you could be setting yourself up for hip pain or surgery much sooner than you expect. This is a big deal. Our hips aren't as resilient as they once were. The cartilage thins, joints stiffen, and recovery slows with each passing year. What's especially concerning is that some popular exercises older adults rely on are actually speeding up hip damage. To stay active and independent for years to come, you need to know about and avoid these 5 exercises before they cause irreversible harm. Let's start with the first, high-impact aerobics. These classes are often touted as a fun way to stay fit, but for aging hips, they can be a disaster. The constant jumping, twisting, and pounding place intense stress on your hip joints. When you were younger, your cartilage absorbed the impact like a sponge. Now that cushion is thinner, and every jolt grinds away at what's left. At first, you might notice a little soreness after a class or tightness when you get out of bed. These aren't just normal aches, they're warning signs. Over time, repetitive, high-impact movements wear down the cartilage, leading to inflammation, stiffness, and pain. One day you might feel a sharp twinge or hear a grinding sound, and suddenly, walking becomes a struggle. This kind of damage can lead to arthritis or even a hip replacement. The hardest part? Hip injuries don't heal as quickly as they used to. Cartilage doesn't regenerate much in older age, leaving you with ongoing pain and a higher risk of mobility issues. The slow, sneaky buildup of harm makes high-impact aerobics so risky. You might not notice the damage until it's too late, and by then, your ability to move freely could be at stake. So ask yourself, how long can your hips handle this before they give out? The second exercise to avoid is heavy deadlifts. Deadlifts are often praised for building strength, but for older adults, they can put dangerous strain on the hips. Lifting heavy weights from the ground forces your hip joints into extreme positions, stressing the ligaments and cartilage. At first, you might feel a dull ache in your hips or lower back after a session. It's easy to dismiss as muscle soreness, but it's not. Each heavy lift compresses the hip joint, wearing down the cartilage and increasing the risk of labral tears or arthritis. Over time, the damage adds up. You might notice it's harder to stand up from a chair or that your hips feel stiff after sitting. One wrong move, a slight twist or too much weight, could cause a tear or a sudden, sharp pain that stops you in your tracks. Recovery from hip injuries is slow and often incomplete, leaving you with pain that makes simple tasks like walking or climbing stairs a challenge. Continuing to push through heavy deadlifts could cost you the freedom to move without pain. Next up is stair stepper machines. These seem like a great way to build leg strength and boost cardio, but they're tough on aging hips. Each step forces your hip joints to bear your full body weight in a repetitive, grinding motion. When you were younger, your hips could handle it. Now, with less cartilage and weaker muscles, the constant pressure erodes the joint. You might feel a nagging ache in your hips after a workout or notice discomfort when you shift positions. These are signals that your hips are under too much stress. With every session, the cartilage wears thinner and the risk of inflammation or injury grows. One day, you might step off the machine and feel a jolt of pain, or worse, realize you can't walk without limping. Injuries like labral tears or bursitis can take months to heal, and the hip may never feel as strong again. Everyday activities like getting in and out of a car or walking to the mailbox can become painful, chipping away at your independence. The fourth exercise to watch out for is deep lunges with weights. Lunges are often recommended for leg strength, but when you add weights and go deep, they become risky for aging hips. The forward step and deep bend force your hip joint into an extreme range of motion, straining the cartilage and surrounding muscles. At first, you might notice a slight discomfort during or after exercise, or maybe your hips feel tight when you stand up. These are not just signs of a good workout, they're red flags. Each weighted lunge adds stress to the hip, wearing down the joint and increasing the chance of injury. One misstep or overly heavy load could lead to a labral tear or tendon strain, leaving you with pain that lingers for months. Suddenly, tasks like gardening, playing with grandkids, or even walking through the grocery store become daunting. The gradual damage from lunges is easy to overlook, but it's a real threat.
To your mobility. Finally, the fifth issue is sitting cross-legged for long periods, often during yoga or meditation. This position feels relaxing, but for older hips, it can cause serious strain. Crossing your legs pulls the hip joint into an unnatural angle, stressing the ligaments and compressing the cartilage. Over time, this can lead to stiffness, pain, or even pinched nerves. You might notice discomfort when you uncross your legs or stand up, or feel a nagging ache in your hips later in the day. Ignoring these signs can lead to bigger problems, like hip impingement or arthritis. For some, the damage shows up suddenly: a sharp pain when standing or a feeling that the hip is stuck. Recovery can be long, and the loss of flexibility can make daily movements harder. What seemed like a harmless stretch could quietly rob you of the ability to move comfortably. These 5 activities: high-impact aerobics, heavy deadlifts, stair-steppers, weighted deep lunges, and prolonged cross-legged sitting, may seem like they're keeping you fit, but they're putting your hips at risk. The good news? You don't have to give up exercise to protect your hips. There are smarter, safer ways to stay strong and active without inviting pain or injury. Your hips have carried you through decades of life. Now, it's time to treat them with care. Low-impact exercises can be just as effective without the risks. Try swimming, stationary cycling, or walking on soft surfaces like grass or trails to keep your heart healthy and joints happy. Strength training with light weights and higher repetitions can build muscle without overloading your hips. Gentle stretching, tai chi, or yoga, with modifications to avoid extreme positions, can improve flexibility and balance, helping you stay steady and prevent falls. Most importantly, listen to your body. Pain isn't a badge of honor, it's a warning. Sharp aches, swelling, or stiffness that lingers mean it's time to stop and reassess. Staying active is about moving in ways that support your body, not hurt it. Your goal is to keep doing the things you love, whether it's dancing, hiking, or chasing after grandkids, without pain holding you back. The choices you make today will shape how you move tomorrow. Protect your hips now, and you'll thank yourself later with years of confident, pain-free movement. I'd love to hear from you. What's one change you'll make to keep your hips healthy? Share your thoughts below. If this message resonated with you, leave a comment with the number 1. If not, just comment with 0. Your feedback means the world. And don't forget to